The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to the Lord.
The Pharisees went off and plotted how they might entrap Jesus in speech. They sent their disciples to him with the Herodians, saying, "Teacher, we know that you are a truthful man, and that you teach the way of God in accordance with the truth. And you are not concerned with anyone's opinion, for you do not regard a person's status. Tell us then, what is your opinion? Is it lawful to pay the census tax to Caesar or not?" Knowing their malice, Jesus said, "Why are you testing me, you hypocrites? Show me the coin that pays the census tax." They handed him the Roman coin. He said to them, "Whose image is this, and whose inscription?" They replied, "Caesar's." At that he said to them, "Then repay to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and to God what belongs to God." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
The Pharisees and the Herodians tried to trap Jesus in his speech. The lavish praise wasn't the only indication that it was a trap, but that they were together. We hear a lot about the Pharisees in the Gospels. They were a group dedicated to the strict observance of the law. The Herodians, as the name indicates, were supporters of Herod. The Pharisees and the Herodians didn't agree on anything. So coming together, it had to be a trap. The Pharisees opposed the payment of taxes to Caesar on religious grounds. The coin had Caesar's image on it, and therefore it was considered a form of idolatry. The Herodians were in favor of paying taxes to Caesar. That would keep the Romans happy and Caesar in power. No matter what Jesus answered, he would upset somebody. If Jesus said the payment of taxes is lawful, the Pharisees would accuse him of supporting Roman rule. If he said the payment of taxes was unlawful, the Herodians would have him arrested for opposing Roman rule. Jesus asked to see the coin, and the argument was over as soon as the Pharisees produced the coin. Idolatry wasn't such a concern that they didn't carry the coin with them. He said that, well, this is Caesar's image. So repay to Caesar what is Caesar's. He never answered their question. He never said if paying taxes was lawful or unlawful, so he avoided their trap. He simply said, repay to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Jesus is saying we can be loyal to both our religious tradition and to the secular power. It's not an either-or situation. We can be good Christians and we can be good citizens. Now, Jesus cleverly avoided their trap, but the point of his statement was the very last line of this passage. Repay to Caesar what is Caesar's, and repay to God what belongs to God. Notice he doesn't say give or pay, but repay. Repay what has been given. The Herodians may like paying taxes, but I don't know anybody else that does. But we know it's a part of life. We enjoy the benefits of the society we live in, and we have to help pay for those benefits. What Jesus is doing is placing our responsibility to God on the same level as our civic responsibility. For most people, taxes are automatically deducted. We need to see our repayment to God as just as important. We need to put our obligation to God and our repayment to what we owe to God on the same level as we put our civic responsibility. Paul, in his letter to the Thessalonians, is saying they have done that. They were called and chosen by God. They repaid that by their work of faith, their labor of love, and their endurance in hope. These weren't just vague values for them. They were acting on them. They were repaying to God what belongs to God. And we are called to do the same.